Welcome everyone to Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her. And this is a recording of a live class via Zoom. And we were just talking about using our pronouns and how we collectively address people. And I just kind of offhandedly said, okay, guys, are you ready? Well, nobody in the class is technically a guy. And there's some negative connotations with the word guy. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and Google that. So I've been trying to think of more all-inclusive names like y'all, which is very Southern, or folks, which is a little old-fashioned. And my student and sister in life and in this experience that we share in this universe suggested humans. So hello, humans. If you like that term, give me a little comment down below or like the video, and we'll continue to use the term humans when addressing humans. But now I'm thinking that's not very inclusive either, because what if somebody practicing yoga today was a cat or a dog? Hopefully, who knows? But we'll stick with humans for now. And we'll go ahead and we'll start on our yoga mat, sitting upright in a nice, comfortable seat. I'm sitting on a little cushion today, but you could find a pillow or a rolled up blanket or towel. Might be just enough to lift your hips to allow your knees to have some comfort and to give your knees a little bit of space. If this is difficult or painful for your knees or your hips, you can always sit with your legs straight out in Tadasana with the toes pointed up towards the sky. Or you might just sit in cross-legged, crisscross applesauce. Or you might sit in Tadasana with the one heel pulled in towards the groin and then the second heel stacked right in front of that one. Lots and lots of options here. So find what feels comfortable and supportive in your body so that you can have a nice, tall, beautiful, strong spine. And think about lengthening the tailbone down towards the earth, which kind of seems a little counterintuitive here, but just sort of hug the low ribs in together. And see how just that little subtle movement changes the way your lower back feels and helps support your spine. And then we'll just shrug those shoulders up towards the ears and take them back and down a couple of times. And the next time you bring the shoulder blades back and down, keep them nice and down so that the heart is lifted. Noticing if these ribs have popped out with that lifted heart and hugging them gently back in. And then draw the crown of the head and the tips of the ears towards the sky as you gently tuck the chin, just to keep the neck a nice extension of that long, beautiful, strong spine. And then come to the breath, maybe closing the eyes to help you come inward. Our minds are time travelers. They like to live in the past and the future. If you've ever experienced driving somewhere and then all of a sudden realizing you don't even remember half of the drive, or doing something kind of absent-mindedly and walking into a wall or something, or maybe that's just me, I don't know, but it's because we're not paying attention. And it's because when we're not paying attention, we're not in the present moment. So we have a better opportunity to remember things and be intentional about things and about our movements and how we are in the world when we are present. We have better experiences with the people we're with. Right now is during the holidays. So if we can stay anchored in the body. We can stay anchored in this present moment and really experience the miracle of life that is always around us. So come back to that tall, beautiful spine and come back to that breath. And we'll just start with a little breath, a little extended exhalation. So we're going to inhale for a count of about 4, and then we'll exhale for a count of about 6. Now, if that's too long or too short for you, feel free to adjust that. I'm going to count 4 and 6, but like I said, just go with your own body and what feels comfortable for you. But the goal here is to have your exhale be a couple of beats longer than that inhale. So you might inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then let the exhale be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to stop counting now. I don't want to interrupt your breath. If you're on a different timeline, just honor that and count quietly to yourself in your mind, watching the breath, following the breath, letting the breath anchor you in the body. Noticing as you breathe that engagement of those low ribs to support your spine. The tailbone lengthened down towards the earth. The feeling of the mat or the cushion or blanket that you're sitting on underneath your legs. Those shoulder blades nice and anchored down the back. Breathing to your count as you reestablish that lifted heart and that long neck. Being okay with being here in the present moment. And just noticing when thoughts arise, and they will because we're human, and that's our tendency. But when thoughts do arise, don't judge yourself, don't beat yourself up about it. Just notice that it's there and come back to your breath. Meditation offers us an opportunity to be in the present moment. Yoga offers us that opportunity as well. So take this time and give yourself the opportunity of being in the present moment, anchored in the body, grounded in the knowledge that all of life, all of the universe, everything is here to support you. And that you are part of that life, that universe, here to support the rest of the universe. We all are here together, truly as one. And so let's go ahead and take our fingers back behind us and just change the cross of your legs. Just adjusting so that we're not straining the hips or the knees. If your legs are out straight in staff pose, Tadasana, just go ahead and stay right there. And we'll find a little movement here. So moving with the breath, trying to come back to that elongated exhalation whenever it seems to feel natural for you. but moving with the breath. We'll go ahead and inhale here, reestablishing that beautiful spine. And as you exhale, just let the chin come down to the chest. Let those elbows be nice and heavy here as you get a nice little stretch across the back of the neck, continuing to breathe your breath. And then we'll go ahead and inhale the head back up to the top of the spine. And then as we exhale, let's just turn and look out over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center. And exhale, looking out over the left shoulder. We'll inhale back to center and take the gaze over to the right. Move with the breath back to center. Gaze over towards the left. Coming back to center, let's just make some circles with the nose here. As if you have a pencil right on the tip of your nose and you're just making little circles here. Drawing a circle on an imaginary piece of paper out in front of you. Maybe it's more of a spiral. And the spirals get bigger and bigger. Being mindful of your neck so that you're not cranking it or twisting it, but just being very gentle with it, noticing if you hear any sounds coming from the neck, totally normal. When you get to about as big a spiral as you want, go ahead and reverse the direction, making the spirals just as big and bringing them closer and closer towards the center again. Maybe taking it nice and slow and noticing what you feel at the base of the skull and in the throat and maybe the side of the neck, underneath the ears, and the jaw perhaps. And then we'll come all the way back to center. And then we'll glide the chin forward as if we're trying to jut the neck out. And then we'll glide the chin back as if we're trying to make a double chin. And we'll jut that chin forward and jut that chin back. And just notice how that feels in the jaw, in the neck, at the base of the skull. And then on an inhale, we'll come back to center again. And we'll start getting some movement in the shoulders. We'll just inhale, raising the arms up into a nice V shape alongside the ears. And exhale, floating the fingertips back down towards the earth. Maybe moving with that breath again, inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, and letting the arms float down for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once again, inhaling to your count, raising the arms up in a V. And exhaling to your elongated exhalation, letting the fingertips come back down towards the earth. Inhaling up alongside the ears and staying here for the exhale. Draw those shoulders up towards the sky and then intentionally anchor the shoulder blades back down the back body, rotating those pinkies inward and finding our victorious pose. Lifting the heart, tucking the chin, hugging those low ribs in, and just stay here for a moment. Breathing our balanced breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Finding ease here. This may seem like a very simple asana, but every asana is the intention that you bring to it. Make it alive. What does the word victorious mean to you? How does it feel when it lands in your body? That word victorious, what does it feel like to have victory in something? I'm not just talking about a competition, but in any walk of life. And this might seem simple, it might seem easy, but you might notice that this is starting to be uncomfortable, difficult. Maybe your arms are warming up, maybe they're starting to shake. Bring that life to it and see what you can do to bring a little bit of ease and acceptance with this, knowing that it will not last, knowing that it will not be forever, but we can move through the discomfort. We can move through the challenge. We can take one more inhale. And then exhale finally and slowly letting those arms release down towards the earth. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and move any kind of support that you have out from underneath you. And we're just going to go ahead and come on down to our backs. And let's do it really slowly and with intention here. So you can kind of center yourself on your mat, bend your knees up towards the sky, bring the soles of your feet down to the earth, and establish that beautiful long spine again. Holding on to the knees here. Go ahead and begin to roll gently, one vertebra at a time, coming down to the back. Maybe release the knees and let those arms be extended as you use your core to gently lay your back down to the mat. And then let's inhale and stretch everything out long, reaching the fingertips away from the toes. Taking a couple breaths here, getting long through the right side body, getting long through the left side body, maybe wiggling the toes and fingers, maybe rotating the ankles and wrists. And then we'll go ahead and bring the soles of the feet back to the earth, pointing the knees up towards the sky. And then we'll draw one knee and then the other in towards the heart. And you know what to do here. We're going to rock a little bit from side to side and give ourselves that nice little yogi massage here. And then let's go ahead and raise both legs up towards the sky, shining the soles of the feet upward, coming to a legs up the wall pose. This pose is incredible for the body and for the nervous system. If you find yourself on your feet a lot, or your legs are tired, or your legs get swollen, coming to a wall and placing your legs up on the wall, or even coming to the edge of a couch or a chair and letting your legs, your lower legs rest there, will help to reset the lymphatic system, which I have learned a lot about lately, that the lymph is kind of works with the blood system, the circulatory system, cleaning up cellular debris from cells that are dying off and delivering white blood cells to anywhere in the body that needs some healing. And our adrenal glands that are all over in every little pit of our body has to run through the whole thing. So we've got this beautiful circulatory system and this beautiful lymphatic system working in harmony to support our bodies. So taking the legs up and just allowing those leg bones, those femurs, to really be planted in the hip sockets here. The legs might not be perfectly straight. If they're bent here, that's definitely okay. And then we'll go ahead and bring the sole of the right foot down to the earth and hug the left knee in towards the heart. You can interlace your fingers around the front of the left calf here. And maybe just rock the leg a little bit from side to side, massaging that left hip crease muscularly, as well as the lymphatic system and the circulatory system, moving the fluid around the body. And then we'll take that left ankle across the right knee, coming into our figure 4, our supine pigeon pose here. And maybe bringing the hands to the belly for a moment and just coming back to that breath, that intentional, elongated exhalation. Inhaling for your count. Exhaling for your count, plus those 2 extra beats. And just again, bringing some life to this position. I could easily just kind of flop here in this position, or I could flex that left foot and point the toes up to the sky. Maybe drawing that pinky back towards the knee to engage the ligaments and the tendons around the knee to support the joint here. You take the heel of the left hand and you can massage that left thigh away from you, opening up space in that hip. And if you wanted to go a little bit deeper, you could thread the needle here, bringing the left arm between the thighs and interlacing the fingers behind the right thigh or around the front of the left or the right calf, if that feels good for you, around the shin. Maybe rotating that right ankle in one direction and then the other. Pointing and flexing the toes. Coming back to that beautiful breath here. Maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. And then let's go ahead and release the right leg, but keep the leg, release the hands, but keep the legs where they are. And open the arms out into T shape. Palms up or down, whatever feels best there in your shoulder. We'll inhale here, and as we exhale, let's use the core strength to help twist over towards the right, bringing the sole of the left foot down to the mat beside you, and maybe turning to look out over your left palm. Getting a really nice twist here, which is great for the digestive system. It's great for all the internal organs. It's great for the spine. It's just great for the body in general and the mind. And maybe see what it might feel like to adjust this left leg a little bit. Maybe you want to draw the left knee a little bit closer to your heart to deepen the twist. Or you might explore pushing the left knee away from you gently and noticing what that does in the hip and the low back. Just being curious about this miraculous body of yours. What does it do? What can it do? What is it capable of? What does it like? What does it not like? And then stack the knees and the ankles one on top of each other so that the legs are in line with one another. And we'll inhale, coming back to center. Maybe drawing the nose up towards the knees and realigning the hips and the back and the neck and all those wonderful things before we bring the sole of the left foot and the back of the head back down to the earth and hug that right knee in now. And maybe rock the knee a little bit from side to side. Using a little compression here in the right hip before we move to bringing the right ankle to the top of the left knee. And coming back to that breath here, that nice belly breath for just a moment. Inhaling for your count. And then exhaling your elongated exhalation. Maybe resolving to come back to that breath whenever you think of it. And if you want to give yourself a little massage here in that right thigh, pressing the thigh away from you, maybe using the heel of the hand to massage into the hip crease. And maybe going deeper by threading that right arm through the space between the legs. Might lift the shoulders and head to allow yourself to get comfortable there, and then bring the shoulders and the head back to the mat. And find some engagement here, find some aliveness, maybe flex both feet real strong here. And as you inhale, press that left thigh into your interlaced fingers. And as you exhale, draw that left knee and the shin a little bit closer towards your heart. Keeping the shoulders relaxed down, keeping the neck nice and long and the chin tucked. Maybe finding some rotations in the left ankle in one direction and then the other. And then we'll go ahead and send the arms out into a T before we find our twist on the second side, bringing the right foot down to the earth on the left side here. And maybe gazing back across that right palm, or the back of your right hand, depending on how you have your arms situated. And again, maybe drawing the right knee a little closer to the earth, or maybe pressing it away. We tend to move so quickly through our days, we don't really pay attention to what we're doing to our bodies. I don't know about you, but I have had it happen to me more than once that I have a bruise or a cut or something, and I don't even know how it happened because my mind is time traveling. And the more we can practice being present here on the yoga mat, the better we get at it, not only on the mat, but in our lives, and the closer we can engage with our lives and the people around us. So let's go ahead and stack those legs one on top of the other, and we'll inhale back to center, and we'll give those legs a little hug and invite the nose up towards the knees. And then we'll take the hands behind the thighs and we'll just rock and roll a little bit up and down the spine. Giving a little bit of movement towards the whole length of the spine. And then we'll come right up to a seat, and we'll come into our tabletop position here. Let's just kind of find a little organic movement, maybe wagging your tail from side to side, maybe drawing the right hip towards the waist as you look back across the right shoulder. And then coming back to a straight spine, and then looking back over the left shoulder as you draw the left hip towards the waistline. Moving from side to side, shaking that tail nice and slow. And we'll do a couple cat-cows here. So let's inhale, cow pose, turning the tail, the toes under. Dropping the belly, lifting the tailbone, drawing that heart forward, and then exhale, rounding into cat pose, pressing the tops of the feet on the earth and drawing the belly button towards the spine. Inhale, cow pose, maybe bending the elbows gently as you curl the toes under and lift the gaze and the tailbone. Exhale, cat. Letting that head be heavy and the tailbone come down towards the earth. And then just continue moving with your breath at your own pace. Noticing that if you're not wanting to move exactly how I'm guiding, that you can go off and do what feels good to you. Maybe you'd rather be in child's pose here. Maybe you'd rather be in downward facing dog. Go ahead and give yourself permission to make that choice for yourself. And then we'll go ahead and inhale and we'll send that right leg out long behind us. And as we exhale, we'll step the right foot all the way through, coming into low lunge Anjaneyasana. And if you have blocks, you might use them here to bring the earth a little closer to you. And you might send that left knee back a little bit to open up space here in your lunge. Really lifting that heart and tucking the chin. And just staying here for a moment before we move any farther here. Notice how you can draw that right hip back as you draw the right or left hip forward. Notice how you can find that tucked chin and that lifted heart and the shoulder blades down the back. Noticing where you're exerting effort that you don't have to and letting that effort go. And then we'll plant that left hand on the earth or on a block, and we'll just trace the right calf with the right fingertips, coming up past the knee and reaching upward towards the sky for a twist. Noticing here how you can maybe dump all of your weight into that left hand, or you can equally distribute the effort from your right foot and your left leg and your left hand as you look up towards the sky and reach upward even as you're grounding downward. Inhale here, wave to the sky. Exhale, releasing the right hand back down to the earth, and then coming back to tabletop. Taking a couple cat-cows here with your breath, realigning everything. Allowing it to just feel good and juicy and nourishing for your body. And then we'll come back to our tabletop and send that left leg out nice and long. Inhale here and exhale, stepping the left foot through, coming into our low lunge here. Finding your Tadasana back. Opening up in that right hip crease as much as feels good to you. Tucking the chin, drawing the right hip forward and the left hip back so that the hips are square to the front of the mat. Hugging those low ribs in just a little bit to support your spine here. And then we'll plant the right hand on a block or on the mat, and we'll trace our fingertips up the left calf this time and reach up towards the sky. Pressing evenly through our tripod of support underneath us, both feet and the lowered back knee and the right hand, and then reaching upward even as we're pressing downward. Stay here for a full breath, and on an inhale, wave up towards the sky, and on an exhale, release the left hand down. Instead of coming back to tabletop here, We're gonna curl the back toes under, lift the right knee, and kind of get a little bit of a bounce here in that right knee so that you can step to the top of the mat, bringing the right foot alongside the left, coming into forward fold. Just be a rag doll here, bending the knees as generously as you like. If you're wearing a hoodie here, you might have that hood around your head. You might be in this little private cave here. Just letting the arms dangle and allowing the head to be heavy. Breathing into the back body here. Noticing with every inhale how the back of the body expands. And with every exhale, you can let the head go a little bit more and maybe find a little more length in the spine. And then let's just roll up one vertebra at a time, as slow as you can possibly go. Coming into Tadasana, coming into tall mountain, reaching up towards the sky, palms kiss overhead, and exhaling hands to heart. Reconnect with your breath here. Maybe rock a little forward and back, maybe a little side to side so that you can find yourself centered, grounded evenly through the soles of both feet. Release the hands down to the sides and open the palms up, shining forward. Let those shoulder blades be heavy. Hug those low ribs in. Find your strong, tall, beautiful mountain here. One more full breath here as you feel into the fullness of yourself, and then inhale, spreading the arms out wide, taking up space, reaching up towards the sky, bringing the palms together, and then diving forward again into your forward fold. Inhale to a flat back, a number 7 shape, pressing into the tops of the thighs, finding your long spine, and exhale to release into forward fold. Inhale, flat back, this time taking the hands to the shins, drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears, finding length in the tailbone, and exhale to release. Inhaling flat back to thighs or shins, or maybe fingertips to the mat. And exhale to release. And then we'll cradle the elbows and the palms, framing the face and just hanging here. Let go of the weight of the head, allowing it to traction the spine and the neck, finding length. Maybe sway a little forward and back or side to side. Switch the clasp, whichever arm's in front, switch it up. Allowing it to feel a little awkward and a little funky because our non-dominant arm is in the front now. But being okay with the awkwardness and the funkiness. Being okay with a little bit of discomfort, maybe. And then we'll release the hands down, and we'll take the right fingertips either out in front underneath the gaze, or you could take them to the top of the left thigh or left foot, or to the outside of the left ankle. And then we'll do that same thing, drawing the left fingertips up alongside the left calf, reaching up towards the sky, maybe finding a nice deep bend in the right leg and a nice straight leg or towards straight in the left side. Finding your twist, noticing what you feel all up and down that left leg. On an inhale, wave your fingers up towards the sky, and on an exhale, allow the left arm to slowly come back down. And then we'll replace the left fingertips either out in front under the gaze, or bring the left hand to the top of the right foot or the outside of the right ankle, and make that same movement, tracing up alongside the right leg, reaching up towards the sky, finding a little straightness in the right leg and a little bend in the left leg. Noticing how that feels all the way up the right side of the leg. We'll inhale to wave up towards the sky and exhale to release. Come back to your forward fold. We'll inhale halfway, your version, hands to mat, shins or thighs, and then we'll exhale to release. Plant the fingertips or palms and come back to your tabletop. And then maybe come into child's pose, either with the knees parallel or out to the side, big toes touching. Reach out straight and long. Getting a nice stretch across the armpit, chest. If you have blocks nearby and you want to get a little deeper into the chest, into the pectorals, into the shoulders, you can take your blocks to the low, medium, or high setting and come down in your child's pose here. Maybe bringing the forehead down to the earth and noticing how that deepens the stretch across the armpits and up the triceps and in the side body. Taking a couple cleansing breaths here, maybe inhaling through the nose and exhaling with the sigh out the mouth or the nose. And then just find some softness in snail pose for a moment. Bringing the legs parallel and just kind of painting the palms down alongside the body and flipping them up towards the sky as they're alongside the feet. Bringing the forehead to a block or to the mat. Coming into snail pose. Maybe rocking a little bit from side to side. And gradually allow yourself to surrender the weight of your body to gravity. Notice where you're holding tension or exerting effort that's not serving you, and let it go. Maybe find a couple deep breaths, sighing it out. Letting the arms be heavy, letting the shoulder blades melt towards the earth. Relaxing the jaw. Two more breaths here. Then we'll just roll up one vertebra at a time, like a brand new blade of grass emerging from the earth. Let's bring the right fingertips down behind the right foot and inhale, lifting the hips and the left arm up towards the sky. And exhale to release the left fingertips down by the left foot And inhale, lifting the right arm and the hips up towards the sky, and just alternating from side to side, letting it be fluid, letting it be flowy, creating your own experience today. Letting the arms either be straight and strong or fluid and curvy. Stretching up and into the hips, maybe into the side body, or maybe more into the heart. Just exploring again and being curious about what your body can do for you. Listening to it and allowing it to be your partner on this planet. One more time to each side. And then we'll swing the legs out to one side or the other, or bring the fingertips out in front of us and cross the legs behind us so that we can roll to a seat. Center yourself on the mat again and bring the knees up towards the sky and the soles of the feet on the earth. And let's find that same slow roll down to the mat. Maybe reaching the fingertips forward and really engaging that core and those low ribs, finding strength here, even as we come towards Shavasana. And then when you release, raise the arms overhead. Let the legs come out straight, finding another nice big good morning full body stretch. And then home stretch, humans. We will come into our final Shavasana. Traditionally, with the heels at the corners of the mat. Feet open up towards the sky, arms opened up towards the sky. Maybe press the heels into the earth so you can lengthen the tailbone down and find a firmer connection to your mat. And maybe lifting the heart just enough to snuggle those shoulder blades in towards one another, tucking the chin, finding your long neck. Traditional Shavasana here, but if a different pose is more restful for you, if you want to come to a wall and come to legs up the wall, you could find a bolster or some pillows or blocks to put under your knees. You might be cold and want to cover up with a blanket. Just find a position that you can find some real rest and relaxation in. Resting the nervous system, resting the body. As Adrian on Yoga with Adrian says, allowing the nutrients of your practice to integrate into the body, into the mind, into the spirit. And we'll just come back to that awareness of the breath. Maybe visualize your mind and all the thoughts in it like a snow globe. Imagine that your thoughts are this snow globe and you shake it up and all the thoughts are flying around and floating like snow. But when you place the snow globe down on a solid surface, all the snow, all the thoughts begin to settle down quietly towards the earth until you're left with clear water in your snow globe, clear, open space in your mind. If you notice thoughts arising, what you gonna eat for dinner? When are you gonna get to do the next thing? What's that next thing you gotta do? Just come back to that nice, clear, snow globe mind. Acknowledge the thought happened and let it go, knowing it will be there for you again later. And we're closing in on the end of 2021 now. It's coming in towards the new year when a lot of people tend to set resolutions that they may or may not stick to, but maybe I suggest to you that you just set the intention to be more present in 2022. To bring your attention back to the present moment when you notice your thoughts are in the past or in the future. Noticing what's around you right here, right now, that you can be grateful for, that you can luxuriate in, that you can find support in. Knowing that you're a part of this community that we're building here together, this community of like-minded people who just want to bring love and joy and peace and harmony to their lives and to this planet. Bringing your attention back to that body, back to that breath. Allow your body to continually just be heavier and heavier, supported by the earth underneath you. Softening the feet and the ankles. Relaxing the calves and the knees and the thighs. Inviting the hips to be heavy and the back to be grounded down on your mat. Relaxing the fingers and the palms. Letting the arms be heavy and the collarbones slide away from one another. Relaxing the jaw, the skin of the face. Even allowing the eyeballs to just be heavy in their sockets. And the forehead to be smooth. Take another 3 full breaths here, maybe finding that elongated exhale. When you've found those 3 breaths, just begin to bring a little movement back to the body. Just start by wiggling the toes a little bit. And then maybe wiggling the fingers. Maybe pointing and flexing the feet and the wrists, or finding some rotations in one direction and then the other. And we'll find one last full body stretch. Keeping the eyes closed, keeping the arms elongated over your head. Bend your knees and bring the soles of the feet to the earth and roll to whatever side serves you best, allowing your head to rest on your bottom arm. And maybe drawing your knees up and wrapping your hand around your knees and giving yourself a little hug here in this fetal position. Metaphorically going from Shavasana, corpse pose, into this fetal position, this pose of birth and new life. Acknowledging that 2021 has been, for some people, a very painful, difficult year full of sadness and grief. And maybe acknowledging some lessons learned, some joys found. Allowing the past to stay, to be over, and then looking forward to the future. Let's inhale and press up to a nice tall seat. And we'll cross the ankles or come into Tadasana or Dandasana pose. And just find that nice, tall, beautiful spine again, keeping the eyes closed if that serves you. My intention for this year, my hope for this year is guided by the Shanti Mantra. Shanti meaning peace in Sanskrit. And it goes, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And if we chant it together, whether internally or out loud, we use that power of multiplication to bring that energy into this place, into this space, into the world around us. So I invite you to join me if you like by inhaling your arms up alongside the ears, bringing the palms down together as you exhale, coming to heart center. Take an inhale to prepare. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. 3 times. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may my thoughts, my words, my deeds, and my actions contribute to that in some way. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste.